thank you for joining me. My name is Alan, and today's video we're going to be looking at the Briefcase stove or the Bistro type stove and why in a grid down situation, if you have one, it may not be good enough. Stay with me. So the Bistro stove, it's something that probably every prepper has. They are ideal if the grid goes down and you're unable to use your normal cooker, that you have the means to cook food and to boil water for hot drinks. And there are many people that own one. And that is slightly the problem if you only own one. Your family could be just you, then you're not a family, but never mind, you know what I mean. It could just be one, it could be a couple, or you might not have a television set and you have 6 kids, who knows, and I'm only joking. But at the end of the day, one is not enough. If the power went off and you have to resort to using the Bistro type stove, just think about what you're going to be doing with it. Could you use it to cook the contents of your fridge or your freezer? No. Fridge, not so much of a problem, because the items that are likely to be in there can either be eaten cold, or if it's things like bacon and sausages, then yes, you can fry them up on a Bistro stove, no problem at all. But the contents of your freezer, you're going to be lumbered, aren't you? If you've got your Sunday joint of lamb in there, there's no way you're going to be able to cook that on a Bistro stove. If you can, stick it in the comments, because I would love to know. So you're pretty much going to land up in a situation where if you've not got alternative power, whatever in your freezer is going to go. So you're down to what we'd class as your emergency preps, or your pantry, or your larder, or just your food cupboard. Tins, not a problem. Into a saucepan, heat it up, good to go. Let's get back to the fact that you might have a family. Can you imagine the inconvenience it would be to prepare meals for 4 people with 1 gas ring? So really, as a minimum, I'm suggesting that you buy another Bistro type stove. So you have 2. They're still cheap, 20 quid, 20 odd quid each. Obviously you'll have to invest in more gas for them, but that gives you the capability. If you're going to cook some pasta, that's on one. You're going to heat something else up in a tin, that's in another, or prepare a sauce. You can actually prepare a meal much easier with 2 Bistro stoves than you're ever going to do with one. And as I say, the more people in your household, the bigger chore it's going to be. Now, going back to the grid down scenario, let's be a little bit realistic about it. It will affect different people in different ways, depending on how big the outage is. If we're talking about a national outage, then that's major drama. If it's regional, or it's just your neighbourhood, it's not too bad. If your primary method of cooking is gas, as in a gas cooker in your kitchen, the gas supply system uses relatively small amounts of electricity to get that gas to each household. So that's why in the event of a power cut, you've still got gas on your cooker, and you continue to use that. You might not have your self-igniter working, but if you've got matches or a lighter, then you're good to go. But you can carry on using your gas cooker. If you've got an electric cooker, then you're lumbered and you are automatically going to your contingency plan, which would be the Bistro type stove. I know loads of people have got twig burning stove, alcohol stoves, solid fuel stoves and all the rest of it. But again, might get you through a couple of nights of, a weekend camping, but do you honestly think that you can provide meals, hot meals for your family using those stoves? Especially with things like the twig burning stove, which is something that you'd have to use outside because they generate huge amounts of carbon monoxide. Bistro stoves with gas, it is negligible. You don't have to worry, generally speaking, using your normal gas cooker indoors. Therefore, providing you're sensible, the bistro type stove is still going to be perfectly safe for you to use. For those of you that have gas cookers as normal in your kitchen, it's worth going to the manufacturer's website and having a look. A lot of them can run off propane, but it does mean that you need to change the jets in the cooker. So it might be worth you having a look, purchasing the jets that are not ridiculously expensive, and perhaps getting a large propane bottle and the pipe and connectors. And then if, for instance, your gas supply was to go down at home, you can swap the jets over and go onto propane, and you're good for as long as you've got a supply of gas. That's it really, relatively short and sweet. I just want you to think about what you're storing in your cupboards as your emergency food, and how easy or not it would be to prepare it. If you've already got ready cooked rice, you know, the sort of microwave stuff, that's fine. You can open that, pop that in a pan with a tiny bit of water, and you can heat that up and it's good to go. I'm not going to say about cooking pasta, you know how to cook pasta, but you know, boiled potatoes, whatever, that's a doddle. If you've got huge quantities of beans, of, you know, dried beans or uncooked rice, then you've really got to go down the route and think about how you're going to prepare that. How long have you got to soak it for before you can start to cook it, and the amount of time it will take to cook. And again, if you've only got the one gas ring, it's going to be a major chore. So for the cost of it, just buy another one, gives you some redundancy, and would potentially make your life much easier. I'm now waffling, so I'm going to kill it there. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Give us one of them and hit the bells. And I love to read your comments. It's okay having the kit, but have you actually thought about how you can use it, or how easily or not it will be to use if the poop hit the fan? Have a great weekend and happy Easter. Don't eat too much chocolate, and see you soon.